What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Straight Off the Hook. I'm Mikey Slayball, and today we're going to have a conversation about something I never thought I'd make a video about, and that is spare shooting. Usually I get asked what bowling ball should I have in my bag, how to spin it faster. Those are usually the common questions, but I've been getting a ton of requests about spare shooting and how I go about it and some tips and tricks that I use, which is kind of funny because I'm not really known for my spare shooting, although I should be. But we're going to kind of talk through how I view spare shooting and what methods and stuff that I use to make it easier for myself, and maybe you can pick something up out of it moving forward. So let's jump into it. All right, guys, so before we hop into this, I'm just going to state this right up front. Spare shooting is extremely subjective, and what I'm about to tell you guys is 100% my opinion on how to shoot spares and how to be better at them and what helps me. So if you get something out of this, great, and if you don't, I'm sorry, but what I'm about to say by no means is gospel truth. So just take it with a grain of salt, all right? We're gonna split this up into two different categories. We're gonna have single pin spare shooting and multi-pin spare shooting. Usually when we look back at a tournament and try to figure out, how many pins we left out on the table, first thing we go to is how many single pin spares did I miss? So we're gonna start with that and kind of make that the meat and potatoes of this video. I have 3 points I like to bring up when it comes to single pin spare shooting. The first thing is, keep it simple. It's one pin that's 60 feet away from you. Don't overcomplicate it, all right? One round object knocking over another round object. Keep it easy, keep it simple. Number 2, develop a targeting system you can rely on. And what I mean by that is, for every pin that you could leave that's a single pin spare, have a target and a starting place in mind before you ever go up and shoot the spare. Now you have to obviously develop this in practice and stuff like that and work on where you like to stand and where you like to look, but develop something that you can rely on every single time. So that way when you're in a title match and you wrap 10 and you need to pick up the 10 pin, you know exactly where you're standing, exactly where you're looking, you don't have to think about it. All right, so develop a targeting system that's reliable and dependable. Point number 3, and this is the one that may ruffle some feathers. Get a spare ball. I know a lot of people are gonna be like, Michael, just flatten out your hand and throw it the 10 pin. Like, that's a skill every professional should have. And you're right, and I agree 100%. If you wanna bowl at a high level, you should learn to flatten out your hand and shoot at spares with a reactive resin bowling ball. But the point I'm gonna bring up is this. Bowling balls are super expensive, and the last thing we want to do is get our brand new Jackal Apex and leave a 10 pin, and we shoot the 10 pin with our brand new Jackal Apex. It dips in the gutter, it jumps out, hits something in the back, and puts a big old gash right through the track, and now we have a $250 bowling ball that is worthless. That's no fun. We don't want that. We don't like that. If we can get a spare ball to avoid that from ever happening, I say go for it, all right? And on top of that too, with bowling balls getting so expensive, if I don't have to throw my high performance stuff, I'm not going to, right? If I can shoot every single spare with a spare ball, I'm going to, because that's one less trip down the lane that my high performance stuff has to go. And that just preserves the bowling ball, and it removes that risk of, that bad kick where you take a chunk out of the bowling ball. So there's my reasons behind getting a spare ball. I think they are better for the life and longevity of your high performance stuff, and you don't risk, scarring up a brand new bowling ball. So there you go, there's my 3 points. Keep it simple, have a targeting system, get a spare ball. So let's talk about targeting now, all right? The targeting system obviously is just as subjective as everything else that I've said. However, I think that one thing that helps out a ton with single pin spare shooting is when we use the big arrows to aim at, all right? Not having to hit a specific board, but being able to look at a big arrow, sometimes that just instills a lot more confidence in hitting that mark, right? And especially when we're under the gun, we're in the pressures of tournaments, looking at a bigger target or seeing a bigger target visually sometimes just instills that confidence a little bit more and allows us to be a little bit more relaxed as we shoot the spare. Now, which arrow you use for those spares, that's 100% up to you. Some guys like EJ Tackett love to stand all the way to the left side of the lane and use the 5th, 6th arrow area to shoot their 10 pins. And other guys like Bill O'Neill, they like to use the middle arrow to shoot their 10 pins. Again, this is all subjective and all up to you. I would just recommend and suggest that if you're gonna shoot one pin, a single pin spare, try to use a big arrow. They're easier to see. It's visually more confidence installing, and I think that'll just help you guys out a little bit with your spare shooting. And last but not least, we're gonna talk about multi-pin spare shooting. Now, this is the most subjective and individualized thing about bowling. There's so many different ways to shoot multi-pin spares. I personally, if I can throw a spare ball at it, I'm going to. For the reasons I stated before about, one less trip down the lane the bowling ball has to make, and then that's one less opportunity for the bowling ball to get scarred up. That's why I like throwing my spare ball at them. But also on that too, I don't like to guess what the lane's doing. And I know that if I leave a bucket and I hit my mark, I'm gonna make the spare, right? Now, obviously you have scenarios where stuff's off spot and you just get bad breaks. That's part of bowling, but that's multi-pin spare shooting, right? It doesn't matter whether you hook at it or not. If a pin's off spot and you get a bad break, it just happens sometimes. But here's what I'm gonna tell you guys. Whatever you have the most confidence in, stick to that and don't waver from it, all right? Don't constantly change things up. Once you found something that you actually have a little bit of confidence in and you can trust when you go out and bowl tournaments, stick to that. Now, obviously, if your spare shooting is just awful, yeah, experiment a little bit, try different things out, find different ways to shoot spares. Love that. I'm all in on that, trying to figure out what's the most comfortable for you to make sure you're knocking over those spares and having those clean games, all right? And when it comes to split shooting, well, I don't know what to tell you guys because that's like a whole geometry lesson that I don't have time to get into today, but I will just tell you this. If you want to get good at shooting splits, go play billiards, because once you understand angles of billiards and how to hit combo shots and stuff like that, you start to understand picking up splits a lot better. Some people got that reference, some people didn't. I'm just gonna leave it there. But when it comes to spare shooting in general, I just want you guys to keep this in mind. I am a very poor professional when it comes to single pin spare shooting. And my single pin spare average was 93.8%. That means out of every 100 single pin spares, I only missed 6 point however many. The tour average is 95 to 97%. So just take that into consideration next time you go to practice and you're shooting single pin spares. I want you guys to think about how many you miss or maybe what your percentage is, and just realize that out of 100 single pin spares, professionals are making between 95 and 97%. There you guys go. This was a fun video. Hopefully you guys got something out of it. I really don't have a solid opinion on spare shooting. Just knock over the stinking pin and have clean games, right? That's all I really got to say about that. Go out and work on it. Shoot some low ball games. That definitely helped me for a while. I don't really do that too much now. I probably should. But that's definitely one thing that helped me develop when I was younger, is shooting low ball. So go out, practice it, work on it, develop that targeting system, get a spare ball, and become that really good spare shooter, that dead eye that you know you need to be. So guys, thank you so much for all the support. Keep everything straight off the hook. I'll see you guys next time.